Hello, welcome to the Black Salt Mirror. There are going to be things coming up as the new astrological transits start moving into place that are going to test your dedication. You need to stay locked in to your routines, and you need to make self-devotion and care a very important daily routine, even if it's just for 15 minutes, where you take time for yourself and ground and pull your magic to you and remember why you choose to live, why you choose to get up every day, what brings you joy, like what makes life living to you. And there's a great wisdom. The owl's on the bottom here. 39. So 9 and 3 is 12, and then that reduces to 3. So it's about stability. 3 is very stable, but underneath it is thunder. There are going to be things shaking your foundation. This owl's giving me a look. I pulled 3 cards. 33, Magic. 48, the Sorcerer, facing Magic. And 20, Flow. $48, it's 12 again to 3. 20 is 2 and 0 is 2. 3 and 3 is 6. So you're coming into a very stable time magically. It's kind of counterintuitive to what's going on around you. As though the more chaos happens in your external world, the more it allows you to have extreme clarity on who you are. Because the purpose of all of this work that you've been doing, and all of the suffering and the life lessons and the karma and whatever you want to call it, it was to get you to this place where you are unshakable in who you are and what your magic is. And you are the sorcerer in this case. The sorcerer sitting here. He's looking at the magic, right? You are looking at your magic now. You're looking internally and you're saying, what is this? What is my purpose? What is my gift? And how can I cultivate it? Here she is playing with the water. Your element, not necessarily like the water, air, earth kind of element, but your element of magic will respond to you. Try making little manifestations and seeing if they work out, because that should be something that you're tapping into heavily now, that you're going to be very good at. The ability to ask for anything and receive it. And you usually start small, because if you don't have a history of it, particularly if you've spent a lot of time with hard lessons, you usually don't trust that what you ask for is going to come. Kind of the proof is in the pudding, they say. So you want to start with little steps, little asks, small things that make a big difference, and start taking note every time they come through for you. Every time you're able to successfully manifest something, every time you're able to successfully divert catastrophe, or what you used to think was catastrophe, all of the hard life lessons with your family, because you will be tested again. They continually test to make sure that you're stable and that you didn't just happen into strength one time. They want you to be strong. They want you to be able to do it every time. So you will continue getting these lessons until they're sure that you've learned and you're stable and you're not going to get pulled back into old ways and old toxic patterns and toxicity. It's a lot of cards. So the stretch that came out, and I'm not sure which way it's supposed to be oriented. I think it's this way. 9 of Earth in reverse. Seven of Water in reverse. This immediately says to me, you don't need help anymore. This table is not easy to pick things up off of. Yeah, you don't need to be saved anymore. This woman crawled out of the water. Oops, my table's slipping. There's a lot of chaos everywhere. And it looks like death took her, which is an interesting Seven of Water. But preceding it was the Nine of Earth in reverse. These are both reversed. So it's a pretty clear message that you're not great, like you're not in complete abundance right now and living it and feeling it and seeing it. But at the same time, you're not struggling in this way anymore either. And you've come into your art, Page of Water. The same kind of looking person as in the Seven of Water. Right? Ghostly and white outlines. But this is a creation. This thing that you were is now your creation. All of the blues that you felt comes out in what you create, what art you make, what you manifest, what beauty you put out into the world. That all comes from your suffering. Seven of Fire. There's in reverse. These appear to be little fire butterflies. It's not the only card in this deck with those. And the Two of Fire upright. There's a great trust that has to happen. You see the boy is leaving his things behind and being taken on by the great universe. And this heart on the clock says it's time for them to love you. They are able to love you now. On top of the oracle cards, we got the Hermit in reverse. On top of the Sorcerer is the Page of Earth, upright. And on top of the Flow is the Two of Earth in reverse. But there she is. You can do great things now. You can defy logic and gravity. Your magic isn't just something small and synchronistic. It's something great and powerful, and it will move mountains, and it will heal masses, and it will bring peace where war would have reigned. I'm looking on her arm here. You can see these symbols. It's Mars and Leo. It's not about the war, because Mars has two elements to it. Mars is aggression, but it's also passion and drive. And in Leo, it's very performative. It's not fighting, it's beauty, it's standing up on stage and making people smile or see truth. I've been getting a lot of messages through history that's been coming across my feeds about people that wrote books, like Charles Dickens, who wrote an excellent book in The Christmas Carol, but it was about poverty, and it was about the poorer class and how they suffer and how the wealthy don't see that. And it opened a lot of people's eyes, and there have been many books and writings. Today I just saw one about an actress named Fanny Kemble. She was English. She's very well known in England, but she got married to an American plantation owner and moved to the Americas and was absolutely horrified by what she saw in the treatment of the slaves there. And she became very vocal about it, and they ended up getting a divorce because of it. And then she published her journal where she had documented everything that she had seen and how completely horrified she was by the way people didn't see it as a problem. They just thought of it as maintaining machinery. but it said in the article that I was reading that when the Civil War happened, a lot of England's lack of support for the Confederacy came from the knowledge of people like her who'd written about it and talked about what they were doing to these people and how horrifying it was and how this was not the side to be supporting. And you can look all through history at people who create art from a place of authenticity. She wasn't trying to write a fun, exciting little book. She was writing in her journal about horrible things that she was seeing. But she was able to bring beauty and love and joy into it, and she was able to help people because of it and to bring awareness. And she was an artist, she was an actor. And this is the kind of thing that you will do, even if it seems like it's really negative. And I think some of you, a lot of you, they're saying, have this idea in your head that if you talk about negative things, or if you write plays or perform plays about horrors and sadnesses, that it's a bummer. Some of you have been told it's a real bummer, and that you should write happy things, and that you should perform happy things, and that you should uplift. And people do not uplift without awareness. The first step to getting up is awareness. I think they say in recovery that first you have to admit there's a problem. And then I think you have to do things like, I've only heard about this. You have to do things like apologize to people and take responsibility, and then you move into joy, and then you move into accountability, and you move into beauty and life. These are not my struggles, but I like to hear about them. And so that's why someone who's had them should make them, so that the rest of us can experience what you have experienced. The 8 of Water in reverse is at the bottom of the deck. You're not alone anymore. For a very long time, you were very alone and very in survival mode, doing little things to keep yourself warm. But there's been a sapling growing through this bed here, and there's a key hanging on it, but the person's walking away. The things that you were told were the solution weren't the solution. You found the solution in yourself. You are the solution. And so now you go out to your calling and you show others that they are the solution, that the solution is within you, that you are the thing that you're cultivating, not some external self-help or improvement or structure, but you are the seed that you're cultivating. And you have grown now, and you're beautiful, and the universe is saying, we can support you in this. Come trust us, ask us for help, and we will show you. At this time, this came out in reverse. You see the dark and the light, but the dark is farther away from her. Let's see, Jupiter in Capricorn. There's a particular advantage that this collective has right now for a period of time. It didn't exist before, it won't be as strong after, but right now, what we put out it's like going viral on the algorithm. Like, it gets pushed out, it gets seen, it gets shown light on, and we are here to push it out. And we are here to show the alternative to great war and conflict and pain and suffering and subjugation. And we are here to push out art and understanding and shared learning and what it looks like to go through the fire and come out beautiful, and not in a way that you want other people to suffer the way that you suffered, but in the way that you want to alleviate it by creating beauty, by sharing beauty, by living in this communal place where everyone contributes to beauty and to ease, and to using our human gifts to have a good civilization where all of the things that we know about how to build and how to cultivate and crops and weather can be used to make our lives comfortable and stable. I'm just realizing that the head of this creature is an egg. And out of the egg is coming the water. It's cracked open. And that's what he's using to build this body underneath it. As though all of our time so far was an incubation of our gifts, to both hide them and grow them in isolation. And something that was too small for us, but unseen and healing, they say. Because now we're strong enough that we can't be hurt. Now that the egg is cracked open, they can't hurt you anymore. They can't get to you anymore. They can't see you yet, but when they do, there's nothing that they can do. And that's what they're saying. Now, not only can you be seen, but you can step out and you can shine. And you get to dictate the new order. And I'm going to end there. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. And I love you.